this. Rudy Gobert is agreeing to sign a 5-year, $205 million extension to stay in Utah. And, this is a huge moment for Utah because it's the third biggest contract ever signed in NBA history. And he could have signed for the Supermax, but he didn't even ask for the Supermax. His reason was because he was like, oh, well, I want them to more easily build around Donovan Mitchell and me, so I won't ask for the Supermax. I'm being a good guy. Yeah, right. The reason is he wasn't going to get it anyway, because Rudy Gobert is not like the modern big man where he can shoot threes, but he is still so dominant that he's worth a max contract somewhere. And I think that's the main reason why the Utah Jazz paid him $205 million is because he was about to be a free agent after this season. And if they didn't pay him $205 million for 5 years, he could have gotten a max somewhere. Someone was going to pay him the max. So while they didn't have to pay him the super max, they had to at least pay him the max. They had to. And so I know a lot of Jazz fans, actually Jazz fans know how important he is. A lot of just sort of casual basketball fans are going to look at this and say, oh man, that is way too much money for Rudy Gobert. Sometimes in some playoff series, he can be played off the floor. He isn't that modern big man who shoots threes. In reality, this is how much he is worth. He is worth $205 million. And this team was so good. I know that they lost in 7 games in the first round last year. Who cares? They were up 3-1. They blew a 3-1 lead. 3-1 series lead to the Nuggets. They should not have lost that series to the Nuggets. They were so good. Donovan Mitchell is taking that next step, and they are going to build around Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. If they let Rudy Gobert go, the question always is, who would they replace him with? It would not be good. They would not replace Rudy Gobert with anyone of equal value. They would not have. And so Gobert signs here, and the average annual value is for about $41 million a season. By the way, if you have a question, you can always super chat, and that will, boom, alert me in big bright colors that you have a question, and I'll get to it. But $205 million over 5 years is about $41 million on average. And if he would have gone to the open market, he wouldn't have been able to get 5 years. It would have been just 4. And the average value would have been around $39 million. So he gets the most money that he can here with Utah, even though it's not the Supermax. So David Para asks, he is still a great player. He is a good fit with Spider Mitchell. Either Utah paid him or the Mavs would have. What do you think? Exactly what I was about to transition into, David. Exactly. And the reason is because he is now taken off of the free agent market. And really, what David is alluding to here is really why this is interesting for the other 29 teams in the league. This takes yet another name off of the free agency market in this coming season. So the 2021 free agent class is gutted. First, we saw Anthony Davis. And look, we didn't actually think AD or LeBron were going to be free agents, but still, they were part of the class. First, AD signed his contract. Then Mr. LeBron James signed the extension. Then Paul George signed the extension. Then I feel like we had someone else. But Rudy Gobert now has signed this 5-year extension. Now the biggest free agent names on the market are Kawhi Leonard and Victor Oladipo. That's a big jump down. Is Kawhi, Kawhi is so, he is not a guy that we really are going to think is going to be a free agent. So maybe the free agent class just becomes Victor Oladipo. And so the free agent class really is now going to be trades. And that's how people are going to have to acquire a star. And the trades on the market right now are James Harden, Bradley Beal. Every single year, we see some star get disgruntled and want to leave. So right now, the list is potentially James Harden and Bradley Beal, but that list will grow. And Bradley Beal technically isn't even on there because he has not demanded a trade. And the Wizards have said he is not going. He is not on the market. And so any of these teams that want to add a star, the Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, The Toronto Raptors, they're going to have to do so via trade unless Kawhi enters the open market, which could happen. But, that's the thing. Like with Dallas Mavericks fans, they have never signed a max free agent. The Dallas Mavericks in their history have never signed a max free agent ever. And Mavs fans are so tired of hearing things like, hey, we cleared cap space, we saved cap space, we didn't sign depth, and we went after the big free agent and we swung and missed, but hey, we had to do it. Like they're so tired of hearing that because it's never worked. And they always, there's some lesser depth rotation player who could have signed, and he was out there like, I'll take your money, Mavericks. And they were like, sorry, we can't give it to you. We're waiting for this guy over here. And the guy over here just never, ever signs. It's never happened. So they're tired of doing that, right? And so it looks like Donnie Nelson and Mark Cuban, to pair third star with Luka and Kristaps, are going to have to do what they do best, which is trades. Because I don't think any of us think that Luka plus depth is enough. And I certainly don't. So especially in this era of big twos and big threes, Luka plus depth isn't enough. And I'm not convinced about Kristaps Porzingis' health. I'm really not. I would have thought that Rudy Gobert would be really good in Dallas. I thought Rudy Gobert would have been really good in Brooklyn. Those are two teams whose defenses need a big boost for them to be championship contenders. That's actually going to be one of these videos that is going to be on the channel this week, is that the Brooklyn Nets, let's take, for example, or the Dallas Mavericks, both, in my mind, top 5 to top 3 offenses, okay? But maybe bottom of the league defenses. And, I think that especially the Brooklyn Nets are going to win games 130 to 115, or 120 to 115. And while that's going to be really exciting to see, it's not a formula to win championships. Rudy Gobert would have put both of those teams, for me, right into the contenders list because he would shore up their paint defense. He would have given credibility to their defense. Since 2000, there has never been a bottom 10 defense to win the championship, except the 2001 LA Lakers. They had the 22nd defense in the regular season. And then in the postseason, they had the number 1 defense. How do you explain that? Regular season Shaq. Like, he did not give a crap. You know what I mean? And so that team, that 01 Lakers team, proved 2 things. You can have a bottom 10 defense and win the title. Also, they proved there is a switch. You can flip the switch. It is a real thing. And so they went 15-1 in the postseason, and they beat Allen Iverson's Sixers for the title. So outside of having like Shaq and Kobe and whatever, and that team, it's just not going to happen for you if you have a bad defense. That's why I thought the Dallas Mavericks needed Rudy Gobert. The Brooklyn Nets needed Rudy Gobert. The Brooklyn Nets don't need James Harden. Like, they already have a top 3 offense as it is. Groza Sergu says he is worth that much only to the Jazz because of their system, but still an L to pay him $41 million a year when he gets played off the floor in the playoffs. So when you say an L, I think you mean just winning a championship. I mean, Groza, I think the question is, can they win a championship with Gobert and Donovan Mitchell as their core? And I think they can, but they're clearly 1 star away. And, I don't think it's only worth that to the Jazz for their system. I think he's also worth that to the Jazz because he is an all-star that they have. And if they let him go, they would be replacing him with someone who is sub all-star level. You know what I mean? Like, they don't attract free agents to Utah. So it's not just their system. I think it's like, look, when we have an all-star, we have to keep the all-star if we're going for it now. Now, if we're tanking, that's another question. But some of these smaller market teams like, I don't know, New Orleans or Oklahoma City, basically any city that isn't a free agent market like Miami or New York or LA, those cities have to pay their stars no matter what flaws they have. Like, it doesn't matter what flaw they have. If Rudy Gobert is on your team and you are in Salt Lake City, Utah, you pay Rudy Gobert. You can't afford to let him leave because all you're going to be doing is looking for another Rudy Gobert level talent, and you're not going to be able to find it because they're so rare. So it's not, I don't think it's just their system. I think it's just by virtue of being in a small town like that. And so all these teams, the Raptors, the Mavericks, the Heat, they're all going to have to trade for a star. So this is really good if you are the Washington Wizards, if you are the Houston Rockets. The price of your star just went up because another free agent market name is gone in 2021. At first it was, maybe, some people thought AD, no. AD, LeBron, maybe Paul George and Kawhi and Rudy Gobert and Victor Oladipo. And we're going to have a sneaky good, and Giannis, that's who it was earlier, and Giannis, all these names. Like, Giannis was such a big name that we forgot about all these other names in the free agent class in 2021. We forgot about both Kawhi and Paul George and LeBron and AD and Rudy Gobert and Victor Oladipo. But it turns out one by one, they've been taken off the market. There is no more Giannis. There is no more LeBron or AD or Paul George or Rudy Gobert. All that is left is Kawhi Leonard and Victor Oladipo. And then there are some other smaller names. I think Drew Holiday is going to re-sign in Milwaukee. And so it's like, oh my gosh, all that's left is Victor Oladipo and maybe Kawhi, maybe, probably not. So if we want to start, if we want to improve in 2021 in the offseason, dude, we're going to have to trade for a star. So if you're any of these teams, if you're the Miami Heat, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, because I know they wanted to improve, if you're the Dallas Mavericks looking to improve around Luka, basically all you can do is trade for James Harden, trade for Bradley Beal, or just wait to see whatever star becomes disgruntled next. Who is that going to be? Who is the next disgruntled star in the NBA? That's going to be like the big question, and maybe that should be a video topic this week. Who is going to be the next maybe like rankings, like, most likely to demand a trade or something? Because right now, like, that's it, dude. That is how you improve your team now in 2021 for this offseason, is going to be through trades. And we kind of already thought that because of the salary cap and the pandemic, because there's less money out there for free agents, there are going to be less free agents, because these players are looking at that and saying, that is not when I want to become a free agent. I want to put that off for a few years. So I'm going to sign an extension and be a free agent later when the money comes back up, when we're allowed to have fans back. And so they stay off the market, these guys who have options. So they stay with their team, they sign an extension. So now trades is how we're going to see so many trades in the next year plus. It is all going to be trades. And so, let's look at some of these. Rudy to the G League. That's just the first comment that I saw. I don't even know. Dallas should try to trade for Aaron Gordon. Not a star, but could still help. Ooh, I don't know, man. Well, you got Eric Gordon playing the 4 and Kristaps playing the 5. I'm really not sure about. Let's take questions and just look at comments for like 5 minutes, and then we'll end the stream. I'm not sure if this does deserve video. Now that we've really fleshed this out, it's like, okay, this deserves a whole video. Maybe we'll do this for tomorrow morning. That's what we'll do. Even though it's breaking news, I think there's a lot to flesh out. Okay, cool. Harden going to get traded by tomorrow. Dude, that's the thing, man. It's like, I really think we could see a Harden trade at any moment. At any moment, we could see a Harden trade, and his value goes up. Al Horford to Dallas, says Colin Reed. Well, Colin, here's my question, Colin. First of all, that's a good call, but how many years does he have left? Let's go to Thunder salaries, and we'll look at my man Al Horford. And Al is under contract for this year and just next year. And then that final year is non-guaranteed, so they can waive him. Hell yeah. Listen to my man, Colin Reed. Colin, I am with you. Al Horford. But like, does that get them past the second round though? I don't know. But dude, that was such a good call, Colin, because he's a good culture guy. Obviously he's talented. I mean, it's like, Colin, here's my question. He didn't get the Celtics to the finals, right? And the Celtics had a lot of talent. They had their young guys. They had Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Now they hadn't taken that MVP level jump like Luka had, but I think, you know what, that is a really good call. So we're gonna add that to the video, Colin. On Monday is Al Horford to the Mavericks. Ola says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. It is cold where I am. I am in San Francisco, California. All right. Would you consider Gobert a one-dimensional player? No. I think he's the best screener in the league. I think that he is the best rim protector in the league. I think he's a great finisher around the basket. Look, he's just a little limited in terms of defending on the perimeter, and he doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have range. Okay. I mean, look, if he's not getting the supermax, I think that's fine. Like, people would take that at a price, and the price here was $41 million a year. And look, yeah, they can still build around those guys, and they've got depth. Look, the Utah Jazz felt like they should have made it to the second round last year, and I thought they should too. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I predicted the Utah Jazz would beat the Denver Nuggets and go into the second round. And they lost in 7 games, and they blew a 3-1 lead. I think it's pretty clear that if healthy with Bojan Bogdanovic, the Utah Jazz would have beaten the Denver Nuggets. And all these people really high in the Nuggets, like they're a conference finals team. Like, the Nuggets probably should have lost in the first round, okay? And so we'll see. Listen, Adnan Dahir, did you notice the 500 donation? It's not US dollars. That was 500 in whatever denomination country he's from. Are you excited for James Weissman and Nico Mannion? I found out it's James Weissman, not Wiseman. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I'm very excited. Have you guys seen the rave reviews for James Weissman? I'm going to feel weird saying Weissman because everyone says Wiseman. Apparently, James Weissman is killing it in camp. So I'm really excited for that. Casey, that is $46. That's awesome. I do have to admit that. Sweetenings. Opinion on Bradley Beal. Great player, 30 points per game. Should have been an all-star last year. If Utah won against Denver, how much do you think Rudy would have made? I think he would have made the exact same. I don't think them losing against Denver is the reason why you didn't get the Supermax whatsoever. Edwards looked like a bust. Come on. It's been like 3 preseason games, man. Dude, I cannot wait for opening night. I feel like we should do something really special for opening night, but I don't know what that is. What do you guys think we should do for opening night? We did not have Will Barton. That is true. You didn't have Will Barton. D-Book to the Clippers, not going to happen. Did you watch 2013 and 2014 Warriors? Yes, I did. What are your thoughts on Steph, Oubre, and Wiggins scoring 70? I don't believe that's going to happen. Never mind, Casey. That is $58. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Most improved player? Who did I call from? Oh, Marvin Bagley III. Yeah. I don't think enough people are talking about Marvin Bagley III for most improved. When you think about him, he's a number 1 overall pick type talent. He's a guy who's had so many injuries. Marvin Bagley only played 13 games last year. Like, how much room for improvement is that? That's like so much room for improvement. So, yeah, man, Marvin Bagley, I don't think enough people are talking about that. Like, if Marvin Bagley was healthy this year and he stays healthy, why would he not be most improved? He did nothing, right? So the room for improvement is easy. Nuggets suck. Disagree. DeAndre Ayton for most improved. No, yeah. A lot of people are saying DeAndre Ayton too, but do you get my point about Marvin Bagley? Opinions on Oubre and Wiggins duo. I mean, look, we all know it's a huge downgrade. I mean, look, the Warriors have not looked great in the preseason. Gosh, I'm concerned. I called them for the 7 seed, and like a lot of experts have called them for missing the playoffs. I'm afraid about that. Let's see. Opinion on the Suns, Bol. Hey, Bol, looking great. Love him. Is Hero a future All-Star? Of course. Derek White, most improved. That could easily happen. Talk about Clippers situation. I think the Clippers are being so underrated. I mean, am I getting crazy? I'm hearing guys, they blew a 3-1 lead in the conference finals. They return almost all of their talent. They replaced Montrezl Harrell with Serge Ibaka. Everyone says the Clippers didn't fix their point guard problem. Hello, that's not why they blew a 3-1 lead. And they got the number 2 seed without that point guard. What? Why is everyone picking them in like 4th? Am I like insane? Like, what am I missing here? Like, to me, that's so crazy. It's not like the Denver Nuggets improved big time in the offseason. And by the way, like, there's still all these people sleeping on the Clippers. Like, dude, yes, Paul George hit the one off the backboard, and like, I know it was an ugly exit, but like, they return all-star talent, all NBA talent, multiple defensive player of the year, champion, and they add Serge Ibaka. People who are sleeping on them are insane to me. I do not get it. Like, I am all over the Clippers. Clippers suck. See, they don't. I think chemistry is important. They don't have that. What does that mean? They were the number 2 seed, and they were up 3-1 in the conference semifinals and blew that and had a really bad final, 3 games or whatever. Don't have chemistry. Of course they have chemistry. What? How do you get the number 2 seed in the West and beat up on people night after night without chemistry? I don't get that. It's so crazy to me. Casey, how do you feel about the Bulls? I feel like they have a chance to make the playoffs, especially because of, by the way, before I finish my point, I get distracted by another comment. That's not good. What do I feel about the Bulls? I feel like Otto Porter Jr. is the most not talked about returning healthy player. Otto Porter Jr. is so good. There's a reason why Otto Porter Jr. got paid like $28 million a year. He is awesome. Like, they didn't have him last year, and they add him plus a new coach, new coaching staff, new front office. Like, yes, I like the Bulls this year, but there's so many teams in the East that are talented that it's hard for me to pick the Bulls to make the playoffs. That's what I think about them. What team can get Harden? Any team with a young star can get Harden. So what the Rockets have said that they want is a young star that they can build around. So who's got a young star that the Rockets can build around? Okay. You've got not many. You've got the 76ers with Ben Simmons. You've got the Denver Nuggets with Michael Porter Jr., right? Who else is a young star that they can build around that could possibly be traded? Karis LeVert doesn't count. Okay. So, So we've got, what do we have so far? We've got 76ers. We've got Michael Porter Jr. The Miami Heat have Tyler Hero that they could trade, a young star that the Rockets could build around. But reports say they don't want to trade Duncan Robinson. So, we're starting to get a little list here, but it's not very many teams that could trade for James. Karis LeVert doesn't count, Kyle. No. Opinion on Talon Horton-Tucker. My opinion on Talon Horton-Tucker is that, yes, he is a second-round pick who could pop, and a lot of people are very big believers of Talon Horton-Tucker right now. A lot of very smart people. They don't think this is a preseason fluke, a lot of these people, which is awesome for Laker fans. But how many minutes are going to be there for them, especially in closing games? Gabby John Maduma, PHP. I don't know what that is, but thank you for however much. I don't know how much money that is, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Yep. I can make someone a moderator. That's kind of cool. I just found out about that. The Rebounder. AM Hoops need 9,000 subs by the end of the year. Not going to happen. That's okay. That's okay. I'm very, very grateful for all of you. Pesos. That's okay. Whatever. Who cares? Opinions on Jeremy Lin to the Warriors. It'd be great if they can get it done. If you want the NBA to be healthy, respect small market teams. Not everyone is from LA or New York. I totally agree with that. But you know what? It's also good when we have dynasties in the NBA. The NBA is popular when we have these dynasties and these rivalries. And dynasties are created when superstars go to big markets. So I know it's great that Giannis stayed in one of the smaller markets in the NBA. I know that's great for the NBA and small markets, but it's also great for the NBA when Giannis goes and pairs up with Luka in the number 4 media market in the country. Dallas Fort Worth is, I believe it goes. All right. Well, it looks like my connection to the internet sucks, and we've been doing this for 30 minutes. So big news. We're going to drop the video tomorrow. I'm not going to rush this. It's okay. All right, guys. Have a good one. I really appreciate y'all. Have a good Sunday. Merry Christmas. It's okay that we don't make 100K by January 1st. I don't care. I'm grateful for all of you. We are an amazing community, and I'm so proud that all of you guys are joining me on this awesome NBA journey. I love the NBA. So do you guys. It's fun to share that passion, and we're looking forward to the 2021 season. All right, see you guys.